So guys, hello and welcome to the first video on the Game Day Hub F1 channel. This video you'll see is me in a career mode, and the career mode will be a very special one for me because it will be the start of probably a big series on the channel. So it's going to be a 5-lap custom weekend, one shot qualifying. So we're going to literally get straight into it with a one-shot qualifying, go straight into the race, and it's going to be over and done like that. I'm not very good at Formula 1 games, so we're going to just leave it in exploit for now. But as I go along, I'll just leave it running in the background, and as you can tell I'm just live commentating over this, but I'll let the designs go on in the background. So what actually happens in this series is you'll find I will start taking assists off the further and further I go into it. So at the moment I'm pretty much running full assists. So I've got full traction control on, I've got full ABS on, I've got automatic gears. I thought I had pit lane assist on, but it seems that you'll find later on in the video that I didn't. And then also what you're going to be looking at then is after 3 or 4 races in the season, I haven't actually decided yet, I will take one assist off, or I will put the difficulty a little bit higher up on there, but just filling in the old John Hancock there, filling in the old name there, and I've decided on the helmet design already, and then literally from here. So I think what I may do in a second in the video is actually show you what I did for the thing. So I'm going to register that, so that is me for the career. So this is the team selection side of it. So I was thinking to myself, who am I going to choose for the career? I didn't want to choose anyone in the top, because that's just too much. I want to go for the long run, and I want to work my way up. So I was thinking either Renault or the Sauber team. Didn't want to go for Manor, so in the end I chose to go to Sauber, and I chose my partner as Felipe Nasser. So we'll see Felipe Nasser and myself, but as you can see on here, so one shot qualifying, 5 laps. Also, I think I'm going to show you on the assists. So race settings at the moment, expert, flashbacks are on, pot firmware rules are on, simulation is on, it's regular corner cutting, and it's also manual starts. On the assist side of things, we've got a custom, so it's off for braking assist, anti-lock brakes are on, traction control is full, racing line is just in the corners, gearbox is automatic, and pit assist is off. Now I thought pit assist was on, so later on in the video you will see that go a little bit wrong for me. But we'll get through that and we will be absolutely fine. So after I've just enjoyed myself a little bit in the background here of showing myself the same settings all over again, I will go into the session and we will get there and ready to go for the race. So there she goes, our lovely assistant. Didn't want to bore you guys with that bit. So as you can see there, we are the second driver to Felipe Nasser at the Sauber F1 team. They're happy to get us on board. That's always good to hear. Well, sorry, no, they're delighted to get us on board and look forward to working with us to make the car a better place. Yes, this is a laptop, congratulations, but I am going to literally just cut through now and we're going to go straight to one-shot qualifying.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly.
So here we are, so it's one-shot qualifying, so it's got to be super soft tyres. What I decided is to pop a couple of little bits of extra wing onto the car, and then ready to go. So off we go, flying down the straight. Just coming up to the first corner, hit the brakes as you said. As I said, you've seen me running a little bit wide there, and this is where you see the I keep wanting to call it McLaren, Mercedes just flies off into the distance, and then we're coming down to now turn 3. So going into turn 3, you'll see I'm on the racing line, run a bit wide into 4, coming out of turn 5 now. didn't lift for the first time all weekend, going then up to turn 6 and 7. So into 6, into 7, coming round turn 8, keeping to the racing line, and then hit the brakes hard into turn 9, immediately into 10. And then this is where we come down the back straight now, and we fly down towards turn number 11. So hit the brakes now, hit the inside apex, hit the inside apex again, run a bit wide in 12, come flying down again the back straight now under the HL bridge, hitting the brakes just after the 100 metre board for turn 13. Again, lifting off as you come around this corner, getting straight back on the acceleration, because with the traction control you can do that. Going then into turn 15, coming out of here and then on to the back straight, hitting that DRS on the line, and then flying up to the line, going upwards of 290 kilometers an hour, and getting a nice job because I finished 17th place. So a very good qualifying for myself there, and we'll look forward to taking that into the race. So as we can see from here, I finished off 2 and a bit seconds off the actual final times itself, but then nearly a second ahead of my teammate who finished at the back of the grid. So we'll pop over to the actual race itself now, and we will see how it goes.
They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. Nico Rosberg.
Don't really want to hear about it, to be honest, Crofty, but not bothered about how I finished there, so we're going to get straight into the race now. Of course, manual start, so I'm holding that clutch down, and as you see, a very late start from this though. You'll see, I think it's a Renault pulls up on the right hand side now, and as I come bang, hit the brakes, drop in, and very close. You see a bit of wind go chipping off over to the right hand side, left hand side of the screen, and we come flying down the back straight now. So as I come driving down here, you'll see I totally miss everything because I'm confused by the cars. I go to the side and bang, there we go, warning lights on in the car, and we'll see a replay of this now. I come and I literally hit the grass and bang, and somehow hitting on the left hand side of the car, my right hand bit fell. But up till then it was very poor driving. As you see, I'm pulling across here and I actually hit Grosjean on the inside. So at that point then Jeff wants me to come into the pits, but I think, you know what, I can actually keep out, I can do it. But then I thought to myself also, you'll see as I'm coming around this corner here, I'm losing downforce there. So the strategy's sitting there waiting for me to accept it. But I just decided, you know what, it's working at the moment, everything's working at the moment, it's going to be absolutely fine. We'll get there, we'll get through it, we'll go in, hit the brakes, still keeping up with the Toro Rosso in front. That's where I lose it a little bit through the slightly quicker corners. But then going down, so then I thought to myself, you know what, I'll come in, don't want to lose too much time. Grosjean's going to be in the pits as well, I may be able to hold him up in the pits. But then sort of coming through, I then came through the last sector, and I'm going through the last sector, I'm thinking, you know what, the car's actually feeling fine. So I hit the brakes into the final corner there, turn 15, coming across, round into turn 16, didn't feel too much, but again I'm going at low speed, stopped probably down the straight, so I actually didn't go into the pits that lap, look behind myself, and the cars are still a little bit behind me. So as I'm driving down now, bang, hit the brakes into the first corner, just run a little bit wide so I can see the window starting to affect me a little bit there, as I'm coming down then towards turn 3. Within the DRS zone. DRS obviously hasn't been activated until the third lap of the race, hit the brakes, and as you can see I'm sticking within the racing line, so I'm thinking the car's absolutely fine. Coming around the next corner again, the car is staying with the racing line, so I'm thinking yeah, it's going fine. Go around the next corner again, I had to lift a little bit, but that was just down to myself. Hit the brakes coming into turn 6 and 7. Going out of there, and then it's here, turn 8, where you see you've got to have that extra bit of grip. That's where I ran a bit wide, and that's where I thought to myself, you know what, I can't put up with this for the rest of the race. This is where I'm going to come in. So as I'm flying down the final straight there, you see the cars at the final straight, the back straight, you'll see the cars are starting to climb all over me, hit the brakes, fly through the first part of the corner, running a little bit wide, and then run very wide there, which lets the Toro Rosso come past on my inside, and then there you go, two-door pipping off, and then hit the brakes coming into the second class corner. But then again, I'm thinking to myself, hang on a second, I'm gaining again, I'm gaining through these sections. But then I just thought, no, checked on the mini-map, Grosjean had come into the pits. I was like, that's it, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go for it, I'm coming in this lap, and this is where the fatal error happened. So usually this is where the car would take over from you, and it didn't twig on me until I actually pulled into the pits. But I've actually, at this point, I've got race assist or pit assist off, which I said at the start, but then I forgot during this. So I've actually come into the pits and I've actually got my warning, because when I go into time trial, I don't like to know what's happening around me, so I have literally everything turned off. And I didn't realise I had pit assist turned off, so I actually got a warning, but then Jeff didn't tell me either. So Jeff hasn't done his job and told me that I've got a warning. Because of that as well, I've run a little bit late, thinking, hang on a second, something's happening here. And because I've run a little bit late there, I've then got Grosjean coming up behind me. Obviously DRS has been kicked in this lap. I don't think he had DRS on the straight there, but he comes around the outside, and I have to dive up the inside again and hope for the best. Ran a little bit wide on this corner again, which gave me the option to come up behind me, coming into turn 5, going down to turn 6 and 7 now. Ran a little bit off, but then you see the arrows, the double arrows of the proximity arrows all start to climb as we get to the faster parts of the track, where the Haas has got that little bit more pace over me. Went up the inside here, took a little bit too much curb on the inside of turn 9 there. Coming out of turn 10 down the straight though, he's got the pace on me here, and the Haas dives to the far side, give him enough room, and I hit the brakes coming into this section here. This one could be classed as a little bit of a cheeky corner cut, but we did tap wheels on the inside there. So then coming down to the final, I say the final time, it's lap 3 to number 13, so the final section of the circuit, coming into then turn 14. I started to feel that the car was feeling a lot better, having the wind changed. But this was then going to be coming around the corner now and coming down the start from the straight, which would be the first time with the car in a good condition that it was actually going against the track. And you could see I got a better run out the last corner, and I was flying down the straight, hitting the brakes into the first corner, knocked it across to that corner. A bit of I don't know, class as a corner cut, but took it very tight on the inside line. Coming up to the first corner, actually at this point as well, I realised I was only in standard revs, so I popped the engine into rich fuel and hoped that that would also help me to keep ahead of the car behind. But as you can see with the proximity arrows, the Haas was gaining on me, going through certain sections of the track, mainly the slower corners, coming out of those into the longer straights. I was able to pull away a little bit, but then they were just picking up the extra little bit of speed off the Haas. Coming down now into turn number 9 again, hitting the brakes hard, turning into it, popping the left through 10 and coming down the back straight again. So this was the second to last time we were coming down the back straight, and again, as you can see, the Haas was gaining on me and gaining on me. This time I had a little bit more pace on them, run through the 2 corners, a little bit of a corner cut there, but what I will be doing in the next video is I will be moving the corner cut into strict corner cutting, because I need to give myself a bit more of a warning, and I need to punish myself a little bit more, to be honest. And what I also would like to do as well is pop my warnings up on the screen again, so I know when I've got a warning, because Jeff isn't doing his job. Usually he'd say, yeah, you've got a warning for speeding in the pit lane or corner cutting, or that was a bit close, pal. But yeah, coming down the final straight for the second to last time, over the start finish straight. As the engineer says, Jeff, thanks Jeff. Yes, it is the final lap of the race, but as you'll see, coming into the first section of the DRS zone, I'm actually looking at not even having to worry about the Haas under braking. Took a bit too much curb on there, and again a bit too much curb on the exit, which gave the Haas a bit of a run on me. massive corner cut there, but it didn't lose me time, and I also got a tap up the back because of it. Thanks for telling me that the other car is out of reach as well, Jeff. But yeah, coming down the 2 turn number 9 and 10 again, looking at 10 now, you'll see the Haas is a lot closer this time. So slipstream on F1 2016 is incredible. If you can get slipstream on any car, but I don't think we see it poke out. Give them enough room, pop back over, take the corner. Don't know how close that was to a corner cut there, but this is it now. Pulling away a little bit, making sure I'm there. I know at this point I know I'm safe for the position, because I know I can just literally go through these corners at my normal rate, hold him up a bit, weave a bit if I needed to, but I know, well, say weave to a limited amount, but I knew I could get away with it if need be, and I knew coming into the final corner I'd be pulling away from him, as you can see. So as you can see, it goes off to the end, and as it comes up we go off and we are on the final. But it was at this point then when I was a little bit confused, because I hadn't realised at the point of the pit lane that I'd actually got the penalty.
Brilliant stuff from Mercedes today. That's another historic win. And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes then are on top today.
So it actually got to this point when I was looking through the results at the end that I actually looked and found that I had the 5-second penalty. And I was thinking to myself, why did I get this? And then I saw speeding in the pit lane. I thought, oh my god, that's why I had control of the car, or didn't have control of the car going into the pit lane. So that will explain a lot of things, but that is showing, you'll see on there, started 17th, finished last. Quick look through the positioning, so what Lewis Hamilton and the McLaren's at the top, pretty much all in the same order, with me sitting at the very bottom. Obviously because of this the team weren't very happy. I mean, I've got a few resource points to go towards parts, which I will add a part on at the end of the video, and we'll see the rivalry update now as well. So I finished the race, yes, no podiums, penalty free. I did have the fastest lap of the race though, but I think that's because I was on the fresh tyres at the end. Failed the session goal, failed the teammate goal, and I failed the Drivers' Championship goal. So yeah. So then going into the resource area, what I decided to do on the car was I decided to put some downforce on there, hoping that would help a bit through the corners, and then hopefully that will then push us on towards the next race on the next weekend. But if it doesn't, then I mean we can look at other ways of doing it, but we need to start to build some points until all the assists start to disappear. But thank you very much for watching the video. It's been an absolute pleasure today. Please subscribe to the channel. I am new on here, so we'll give it a go. And then also give the video a like, give it a good thumbs up, and thank you, and see you next time.